What is the difference between NaN and None? I am reading 2 columns of a CSV file using pandas rex and then assigning the values to a dictionary. The columns contain strings of numbers and letters. Occasionally there are cases where a cell is empty. In my opinion, the value read to that dictionary entry should be none, but instead NaN is assigned. Surely none is more descriptive of an empty cell as it has a null value, whereas NaN just says that the value read is not a number. Is my understanding correct? What is the difference between None and NaN? Why is NaN assigned instead of None? Also, my dictionary check for any empty cells has been using numpy.isNone. But this gives me an error saying that I cannot use this check for v. I guess it is because an integer or float variable, not a string, is meant to be used. If this is true, how can I check v for an empty cell / NaN case?
NaN is used as a placeholder for missing data consistently in pandas. Consistency is good. I usually read / translate NaN as missing. Also see the working with missing data section in the docs. Wes writes in the docs choice of NA representation. After years of production use, NaN has proven, at least in my opinion, to be the best decision given the state of affairs in NumPy and Python in general. The special value NaN, not a number, is used everywhere as the NA value, and there are API functions isNull and notNull which can be used across the D types to detect NA values. Thus, I have chosen the Pythonic practicality beats purity approach and traded integer NA capability for a much simpler approach of using a special value in float and object arrays to denote NA, and promoting integer arrays to floating when NAs must be introduced. Note, the gotcha that integer series containing missing data are upcast to floats. In my opinion, the main reason to use NaN over None is that it can be stored with NumPy's float 64 D type, rather than the less efficient object D type. See NA type promotions. Jeff comments below on this. np.nan allows for vectorized operations. It's a float value, while None, by definition, forces object type, which basically disables all efficiency in NumPy. So repeat 3 times fast, object = bad, float = good. Saying that, many operations may still work just as well with None versus NaN, but perhaps are not supported, i.e. they may sometimes give surprising results. To answer the second question, you should be using pd.isNull and pd.notNull to test for missing data, NaN.
NaN can be used as a numerical value on mathematical operations, while None cannot, or at least shouldn't. NaN is a numeric value, as defined in IEEE 754 floating point standard. None is an internal Python type, None type, and would be more like inexistent or empty than numerically invalid in this context. The main symptom of that is that, if you perform, say, an average or a sum on an array containing NaN, even a single one, you get NaN as a result. In the other hand, you cannot perform mathematical operations using None as operand. So, depending on the case, you could use None as a way to tell your algorithm not to consider invalid or inexistent values on computations. That would mean the algorithm should test each value to see if it is None. NumPy has some functions to avoid NaN values to contaminate your results, such as nansum and nan_to_num, for example.
The function isNone checks to see if something is not a number and will return whether or not a variable is a number. For example, isNaN2 would return false. The conditional, my var is not none, returns whether or not the variable is defined. Your NumPy array uses isNaN because it is intended to be an array of numbers and it initializes all elements of the array to NaN. These elements are considered empty.
Below are the differences. NaN belongs to the class float. None belongs to the class none type. I found the below article very helpful. This URL.
If you want to simulate, please consider subscribing.